Welcome to Germany, everybody. Yeah, my name's Aaron Ross. I still live, and trained in Tokyo, Japan for nearly 12 years. And I trained from white belt to black belt, all the way there under Yuki Nakai at the Terrestrial Academy. And a lot of the stuff that I do is stuff that kind of came from judo because of my instructor's background and a lot of people in Japan who influenced me. And one of the positions that's very, very popular in judo as well as in jiu-jitsu is the turtle position. And we're going to be looking at clock choke attacks and some variations from there, okay? Let's get into it. So, you guys are going to end up in this position from a number of ways. It can be a pass that happened and they went to turtle. It can be any number of ways. Takedowns when the guy was trying to get off of his back. So we're gonna just start from a normal position, sort of like a wrestler's type position. This hand is in here controlling the hip, okay? This hand is gonna go inside here to the collar. One detail that we're gonna do here is when this hand comes inside, we're just gonna give it a little pull. A lot of times you can get in there and it's okay, but there's always a little bit of extra slack. You don't want this to be super, super tight. You want to have your arm more or less across, but you want the gi tight. So we're going to be in here. We're controlling the arm, controlling the hip. Hand comes in. Okay. So we're just going to start with the basic clock choke first. And to finish this, guys, we're going to keep our hand in here. We're going to slide down. Our head's going to go on the mat. And we're gonna walk around like a clock. Tick, tock, tick. Until he taps. That's why they call it a clock choke, because you're walking around in a circle. Like Father Time, chasing everybody. So we're here, we're covering the hip. This hand is kind of gonna be like a flipper, like a rudder inside of his leg. Not too high because that's dirty, okay? So just inside the leg here a bit. Limit his movement. This hand comes in, lapel, feed it. We're gonna walk around, head's gonna come to the mat, and just keep walking. There are alternative finishes, sorry, okay? Yeah. There are alternative finishes where some people like, once their head comes down, they like to do this on the hip. You can do that if you want as well. I like it with my head down here, because if I lose it, I'm in a much better control position than if my back is sort of to him. But that's a lot of preference. The finish is up to you guys. We'll just turn around, I'll show you one more time. We'll let you try that. We're here, we're controlling the hip. I like to keep my head in him. Lots of pressure, I'm not on my knees. They're close to the ground, but my pressure's on top of him. Here, beat him. The head slides forward. This hand stays in here, guys, the whole time. And I walk around. It comes on really quick if you get the hand set in there deep. Anybody have any questions? Concerns? Sorry? Sure. Yeah, basically I'll sit him up, sit back. So what we're doing, I got my grip in here. The hand comes in, and sometimes, guys, you might have to get it in there a little bit. The hand comes in, and this hand comes up like this, and just gives it a tug. And that's the set. So one more time, the hand's coming in, this comes up, gives it a pull, and we set it right there. Does everybody understand that? Let's go. Real quick, let me show you, I should have clarified this the first time. Okay. One thing, guys, and girls, excuse me, apologize. When you're doing this, a lot of people keep asking me, like, they don't know. So once you set this, the hand goes back to the hip, okay, for starters, and your chest is basically right behind his neck. So I'm gonna put it down here, and it's behind his neck. It's right behind his neck because you want him in a perfect situation pinned to the floor. He can't move. So he's like this, and you're just walking around grinding him into dust or cocaine if that's what he's made out of. So, I mean, it's 2018, guys. So, it's here. here, the chest, right over the back of the neck. The head goes down, and I'm in a tripod. You see, I'm still on my feet. Some people are like falling off. You're here, and then all you gotta do is just walk. If you have it set really good with the hand, it's gonna come on pretty quick. Does that help? There's a couple guys that had any questions. Does that clarify that a little bit better? One thing you don't wanna do in this position, especially, and this is kind of, and anytime in this position, you don't wanna, see, I'm not reaching in very far here. This is one of the reasons I don't like, some guys really like to go to the wrist with this technique and do the same thing. But what happens sometimes is guys will go over the elbow and Peterson roll you, like a wrestling roll. And that's bad for me. I just lost a good position. So when I do it, that's why, I think this provides a lot better of hip control compared to the wrist. And you're not reaching in as far trying to get that wrist, which is gonna leave you susceptible to him doing that and rolling you. So that's a couple of extra details. So do you guys wanna try that a little bit more, or does everybody have that pretty well? Why I'm not grabbing his leg? Like on the outside, it just doesn't provide a lot of control. I can't control his hip with just the knee. This, I'm controlling more of the center line of his body. I can control him from moving inside and outside. This, he can move his leg and his hips are kind of independent of the leg. Where here, I'm actually just in the hip. Okay? Try that for just a couple more minutes, because some of you guys had it. We'll do, and then we'll come back in and go to the next step, all right? Yes, you have to have a lot of pressure right on the back of his neck. So I'm here, once I have it set, I'm sliding, and all of the pressure is right on the back of his neck. And I'm just walking around. Right here, you want it all here. Because he needs base and pressure, or posture to get out. And that, when your center of gravity is pushing him right down into the mat, it's very hard for them to get out. All right, give it a shot, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so another position that I like to do from here, and this might even be preferred more to I just wanted to show you guys the basic clock choke to get the mechanism of it. Maybe you guys have seen that. Maybe it's a little different. One thing that I like to do is in wrestling, they call this a spiral ride. And if I can get him right now, because he's on his hands and knees, he still has a good bit of mobility. He can still move around and push off the ground. But if I can collapse him down to the side, he's much more vulnerable to attacks. It's harder for him to move. And now we're just gonna do the same thing, guys. Hand comes in, feed it here, but here's where we get a little funky. Now we're not in the hip because he's on his side here. We're gonna grab this. You're gonna reach in and grab it. You can grab the pants. I like to just go ahead and cup the knee right there, and then we just do the same thing. You pull his head off till he asks you to call mommy. Bring me a glass of milk and a bedtime story, boy. So here, we're here, and the mechanism to start is the same, okay? And this takedown, guys, this setup will work in no-gi as well. Of course, you're not gonna finish with a clock choke, but you can break people down the same way. Grab here, and you're gonna walk and pull him down. You wanna still keep lots of pressure into him because you want him collapsed. If his shoulders are 90 degrees, that's not good, but when he's collapsed like this and you have all your pressure, that's very hard for him to get up. And always what ends up happening is guys will switch their hips like this to try to push and get back to themselves, but you're here already. Grab it, feed it. This comes in, and you're on the neck. You all right? Wake up.
Are you pushing his elbow to flip him over?
Yeah. So what I'm doing, here. We're pushing the elbow. I'm pushing it sort of this way as I walk him around. Show it one more time, this direction.
I think I got it.
You guys have it, or do you need to see it again?
Again.
The people have spoken, sir. How many times do you want to see it? Just to let him know. Okay. Okay, so we're here. Always like to be here. Like, I like using my chin as a weapon a little bit. I like to be in here annoying, cause them grief. Here, I push this across. It's not a fun look. It's not a sexy look at all. You guys got that pretty good now? Give that a try. Make your partner feel pain, because that's the idea, guys. You want that tap. Super firepower technique. Complete destruction. All right, give it a shot, guys. Ready? Go! I've gotten a couple questions like, well, what if they do this? And what if they do this? Well, guys, I've already thought that out. I'm going to show you that stuff. Relax. It's coming. Does everybody have a pretty good handle on what we're doing? You guys get that pretty good? Is it working okay for you guys? Anybody have any issues still with that? Or is it good? Okay, another thing that happens, sometimes that leg is not accessible. So we broke them down. We're here, we got this. And let's say that leg is just out or something. It's just, sometimes this happens where they're kind of on their back, but not really. Beautiful. We just grabbed this one, guys. We can just grab that one. We can finish the same way, or if you really want to get dirty, you just come up like this. Smile for the camera. Shaka. Yeah. So if that leg is out of position, you don't have to get that leg, but I wanted you guys to see the progression. Here, let's turn around this way. So we're here. You pull it. Always, guys, when you do this, you're not on your knees here, because he can just turn. You want pressure on him. I like having this like this. This leg's not here. Sweet. Finish the same way. Or we can sit up. Like that. Sort of turns like a bow and arrow choke. It's just it's an alternative finish. This sometimes might be a better finish. Like, let's say you break him down, and let's say your grip wasn't tight enough. You didn't get it high enough. Sometimes this one, you really got to walk around a lot. With this one, well, sorry, this way, you can get more leverage on it to finish it. So you have two finishes there. One is the clock choke finish. One is the bow and arrow with the knee in the neck. Knees in the neck are always a good time, guys. So embrace them, get used to it. You want to give it a shot? Yeah. All right, fine. Each knee, son. Okay, everybody got that pretty well so far? Yes, sir. Do you think it's effective, or do you think it's bad? Do you think it hurts? Do you think it'll finish somebody? Asking for a friend. Okay, so another variation, guys, is somebody asked me. Come in. A couple things will happen. One thing that somebody will do is, a lot of times you get people that are strong, you can't collapse them down, and they kind of do a push-up. They're up on their, somebody goes, what if they do this and you can't break them down? Okay. Sweet. Bet you didn't expect that, did you? We're here, everything's the same. Keep getting, pushing up. I get my grip. All I'm gonna do is elevate. This leg flies through. Of course, over here, better, better. Not impressed? Come on, guys, that was a flipping bow and arrow show. We're here. I'm trying to squeeze him. I can't pull him down. He does a push-up.
I like it.
Encore. Does anybody see it again? You guys understand that? Let's give it a shot. Each knee. How do you like that one? Pretty good? Kind of fun? theatrical, circus-like. It works actually very well though, surprisingly. Okay, so another thing that happens, where is my mate here? This one, you guys have maybe never ever seen this. My teacher, I think, created this, I'm pretty sure. So, what ends up happening a lot of times, I think some of these girls ask me, when you're trying to clock choke somebody, a lot of times what happens is, they're not gonna turn away from me because I'm gonna choke them. So they'll roll onto that hip. This happens a lot, guys, right? So we're gonna do, a lot of times this arm is out. They're trying to block me from walking. Yeah, they're trying to block me from coming. So I'm just gonna keep walking around and I'm here. I can finish him with just this, but I'm a little bit more destructive than that. So I'm gonna just push into that. Yeah, that's judo, guys. So we're here. I'm working, I got it set, and he's like this. Now, sometimes the arm's gonna be out, sometimes it might be in, and I'll just pull it to my hip, and I just walk around. His hand comes over. My head is right on his belt. Okay, I have a lot of pressure on him. I can kind of pull probably and maybe finish him now. You want to turn his face right into it. You're here and you're pulling with that hand as you're pushing the knee in. I'll show it a couple more times. I know it's a little, no, I'll be slow. It's just one of those things. It's kind of, you've probably never seen it before, I'm sure. And it's a little technical, I guess. So we're here. We're trying to clock choke him so he knows what time it is, fool. And I can't, he rolls over. And this happens more than you would think. This hand ends up in here a lot, or you can dig it out how we just showed you. So we're here, we're simply gonna walk around. This hand comes over, covers the hip. Keep walking. I'm on my toes. Come on. Sorry. Sorry. Being a new kid is not fun, guys, believe me. Anybody want to see it again?
Okay. Can you do it? Can you do it once from the other side?
Yes.
Just as he.
Yes, like this. Yeah. Okay, so we're here. I'll walk you through it slow. Everything's the same. We're just trying, and he's blocking this side. If the hand is down, no problem. You can just kind of dig it out with your knee. Head goes to the mat here. Cover the hip. I walk around. Head back on the hip. I mean, I could probably finish him right here, but I'll just, yeah. The idea when you put your chin on him is you're trying to put your chin and turn him into the choke. You're turning it with your knee. Aren't you just waiting to do that to each other? I can just look at you going, I can't wait to, yeah, let's do it. Woo! Let's go! I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna break a lot of your hearts, but we're about out of time. So, I'm not gonna sleep at night because of it, probably, maybe. Nah, that's probably just being drunk. You, get over here. So, there is more stuff in this position, guys. I mean, it's on and on and on, but just to recap, clock choke. Then the second one. Choke. This leg's back. Also a choke. Also a choke. He does a push-up. A choke. More bonus material. Then that last one I'll show guys. That last one, guys, I know is a little hard when he flops onto his side because I know it's kind of a different position. So we're trying to do it. He falls down on the side. We ran out of time, but this will mirror. I just want to show you one extra thing real quick. Some of you guys maybe have saw Daniel Bertina's class. Heather had a class from the crucifix type position. I'll do this. I'll do a collar choke from here, another clock choke. I'll take the back from here, finish from here. Also, if I can't get any of that, reverse omoplata. So the position has a lot of overlap and things that you saw with other instructors. And that's the idea. The better that you can merge different aspects of your jiu-jitsu game, the more successful you're gonna be. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a pleasure showing you guys some stuff. If you have any questions or wanna hear a dirty joke or something this week, please feel free. I'm happy to help you guys as long as you need me to, anytime you want. Any questions at all, please come and contact me. I'm happy to help you guys. So thank you guys very much for coming. I really appreciate it.